silly, ridiculous, a waste of time. They didn't want that's why they were so successful. That's why they got away with it.
I made a living in very
Welcome to Dianne Andrews in Black and White, and I'm your host, Dianne Andrews. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for viewing all over the world on YouTube and in the television stations in Louisiana and Mississippi and soon to be in Texas. And that's why I am today, speaking of Texas. As I've been off for the summer, I wanted to do some compelling shows, something dealing with humanity and humility. And that's why I'm here, because I'm here with the Cajun Navy, and that's what they're about, humanity and humility. But before I start into the show, I want to thank one of our sponsors, Hibernia Wealth Management out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Thank you, Paul. Thanks for being a sponsor. Thanks for helping us out over here in Texas. When I thought about doing this show with the Cajun Navy, I've done one, and you will see some clips on this show from the first Cajun Navy where I awarded Chris King, one of the co-founders, and some of the other Cajun Navy and Cajun Army and Cajun Special Forces organization for the great work they did in Baton Rouge with us last year with the great unnamed flood, I call it, because most people don't even know we flooded around the Baton Rouge area. And it was $10 billion, almost $10 billion worth of money to fix the homes and everything from the government paid out in the Baton Rouge area last year. I also did a flood show on that with the state climatologist. I was looking at a movie Sunday. I wanted to see this movie, Dunkirk, which is about Dunkirk, France, and how Britain sent 700 civilian boats to save 300,000 troops in World War II because the fleet couldn't get in. They were being bombed by the Germans. And that made me think about the Cajun Navy, how Chris King and the other co-founders thought of how can we get a fleet of boats out here. And that's about getting civilians to go in and help. And we see that that has worked here and all around the nation as the Cajun Navy plans to help the Cajun Navy, the Cajun Army, and the Cajun Special Forces. As you see behind me, the sign for Boots on the Ground. And that's why we're here with the Cajun Army here in the state of Texas. Standing beside me is the Cajun Army Director of Operations for the state of Texas, which has 3 locations because of the horrific flood here in the state of Texas, Hurricane Harvey, which is going to be $180 billion, the most costliest hurricane ever in the United States. Her name is Tricia Jo Hoffman from Los Angeles, from California, correct, Patricia? Tell us a little bit about what you do. I know you were the Director of Operations for the state of Louisiana last year in the great unnamed flood around Baton Rouge. And you still have people at the Cajun Army working there. Tell us first a little bit about the structure, because as you see, most people think about Cajun Navy, and I spoke with Cajun Navy because I was given the example of France, of what Churchill did when he sent the 700 boats to save 300,000 people. That was a lot of people in 2 weeks in Dunkirk. So tell us about what you do, how you got here, and about your life away. I know you're an actress. You told me you're an actress, so it gives you the opportunity to be away and do things.
Yeah, it kind of changes my schedule up. So I had originally flown here after the Great Flood of Louisiana last year, came and packed my bags for a week, and then I ended up staying for 4.5 months and running the 501c3. But honestly, our team is so great that
now all 3, the Cajun Army, the Special Forces, and the Cajun Navy are all different 501c3s.
Correct, but we all make sure to work together. So
Right.
Cajun Navy is boats.
Right.
Once the water goes down, we are boots on the ground.
Right.
So then we come in.
Which really takes the longest amount of time, although they do the saving of the most lives.
That's correct. And they
Right.
also come, we have volunteers from the Cajun Navy that come and help us out. So we
Right.
all kind of help each other. But we're boots on the ground. We're going in and we are doing $10,000, $15,000 for free. And it's a huge load off of these survivors because some of them just don't know where to start. So we're
Right.
there to help lighten their load, and we do it all for free.
How do they start? How do they get in contact with the Cajun Navy, Army, or Special Forces? How do they do it? On
So
Facebook? or-
Yeah, well, we have a Facebook page, but for us, you sign up to either volunteer or you sign up if you need help with your home at www.thecajunarmy.com, and then you just register. So if you need your home gutted, you would say, we work with priority. So we first do the sick, the elderly, disabled, veterans, and then we move to families or women with children. So you put in all of that information, as much information as possible, and then our needs team will make calls and take it from there. If you want to volunteer, you sign up, we'll call you, we'll see which location, because now we have 3 locations in Texas, and then we go from there, and we'll place you where you need to
Port
be.
Arthur, Magnolia, and here in Houston and Oak Meadows Community Worship Center,
Yes,
where we
ma'am.
are today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And we will house and feed you. We'll pick you up from the airport. Anything to do to get you here to have boots on the ground, we need more volunteers. We're covering a huge amount of area.
And from what I understand, what you told me is everything is volunteer. The pastor mentioned you had a helicopter come in to help last week, and that was all volunteer. You accept no monies. Is that correct?
No monetary donations. We do have an Amazon wish list, so all of the tools that we need, or if we find people that need tents, heaters, sleeping bags, those are the things you'll find on our Amazon wish list, but we prioritize that as well. So if we really need dollies and duct tape, we put those at the top of the list. You can pay for that, it gets sent straight to us, and you can take that out of your taxes, because we are a 501c3.
Right, so you give them the tax ID number, and then they write it off their taxes. Now, as you see, TJ, which is her nickname, she's not in the boots on the ground.
Not yet.
They're at home, so she's not going out like this today, but she actually goes out and does work herself. How many volunteers do you have here?
Today we have 10 here. I'm not sure the number in Port Arthur yet, but then we've got about 5 over in Magnolia. And that's kind of a small number. Tomorrow we have 3 teams of 8 to 10 each coming in. So we'll get a lot of homes knocked out. But that's our biggest thing, is finding boots on the ground. I think sometimes they think that we're coming from Louisiana and helping here, but we need Texas's help too. We need boots on the
Because
ground.
everybody
here.
I met, the volunteers were all mostly from Louisiana, and then
Right.
some people from across the street.
And some
Yeah.
people are from all over.
Right.
Some people are flying in from all over, but I think that we need Texas to come and help us help you.
Right.
So we're working on that right now.
We're trying to get this. I think this show is going Facebook Live, so
Oh, great.
put out anything you want to say to try to get volunteers in here. The pastor mentioned that to me also.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. We need boots on the ground. We need you to come in and gut the homes with us, but we have fun doing it. You look silly in your Tyvek suit, but you're taking mold out of the home. You're meeting new people. You can come here and, help a couple
Now, when you
of
say
days.
taking mold out, that may scare some people. You all have the safety
We
gear
are-
for the mold,
yes,
right?
And we provide
Yeah.
that for you. We have full respirators and everything, so please don't worry about anything like that. But we're getting everything out of the home, and we're having a good time doing it. You're meeting new people. We'll bring the food to you, so you don't have to worry about things like that. And it's really just something where all of these people are from all different walks of life, but we're coming together to help these people. You meet the homeowners who need it the most and who are so, so thankful. And that's what we need, just people
Yeah.
to just say, I'm going to go and do that.
Do
I'm
you
gonna
ever
go help.
call in other people like Habitat for Humanity or anything? Do you ever work with those kind of people who build houses around the world?
Yeah, and we also have some mission trips that are coming in, which is great and super, super helpful. So we're just trying to get people to know that we're here in Texas and that we need that help. But we do help even with the rebuilding stage. The Cajun Army doesn't do it, but we partner with other missions.
Good.
So we need to get mission trips coming in, get colleges coming
Right.
in, anything like that, where it's just a big group that wants to have fun. Go, come here and then maybe go on a
Yeah.
little vacation. or
Maybe like
something that.
University of Houston, right here
Right.
in Houston,
Yeah.
should get some flyers or some phone calls from your needs assessment people or your
Exactly.
telemarketers, it
And-
sounds like we need to do here.
Yeah, and we have some people that are making
Yeah,
contacts
yeah.
like that. But it is important just to get people in here. We house you, we feed you, and you can go and have fun and meet new people while doing
Anything you want to leave, we're going to have to go on to the pastor. Anything else you'd like to leave with the audience real quickly,
Just
TJ?
if you'd like to help or if you need help with your home, sign up at www.thecajunarmy.com. We're not just there to go and gut houses. We're there to hug the homeowner and let them know that we're there for them. It's we're taking a huge load
Yes.
off of them, and that's what we want to do. But we
And
want
they
to
feel they have support.
Right.
They're
We-
lost right now.
Right. We love them, and we want them to know that we care. Many hands make light work. We can do a lot
That's
more
right.
with more volunteers coming in.
That's why I said this is about humility and humanity, because everyone with occasion, special forces, the operations, everybody seems to be very humble people.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of humanitarian acts going on here today. We're going to go to commercial. We'll come right back to Dianne Andrews in Black and White.
Thank you very much, Hibernia Wealth Management in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, for sponsoring this episode of Dianne Andrews in Black and White.
Thanks for coming back to Dianne Andrews in Black and White. Here with me today is Pastor Tony Pittman. He's originally from Denham Springs, Louisiana, and his home place is still there. But he is the pastor of Oak Meadows Community Worship Center. That's a long name, Pastor, so I got it right. And I just met his lovely wife. In fact, today is his mother's 93rd birthday, so he's going to have to leave. I appreciate you coming in and leave, and they're getting her a cake and doing a lot of things for his mother. That's a great thing.
Thank you.
Now, tell me about your church. It's 65 to 75 members. 75 members, 65 people attend regularly.
Right.
So how did you manage to feed 1,000 people a day? They are feeding 1,000 people a day at this church.
1,000 plus. Okay.
A day, 1,000 plus.
A day.
And is that 7 days a week or 5?
7 days a week, And it's amazing. My motto here is teamwork makes the dream work.
Mm-hmm.
And when I, of course, being a Cajun, I had relationships in the Denham Springs area, in the Louisiana area. And so I was familiar with the Cajun Army and the term and what they were doing and everything. And my daughter saw that they were,
Is she still there in Denham?
She's still in. She lives in Mandeville.
Okay.
She lost her house in Denham, alongside of next door to us.
Last year in that flood, the great unnamed
her mother-in-law
flood.
next to her. But when she saw that the Cajun Army was revving up again, they had kind of been dormant because Texans came to Louisiana to help them during the flood. And so they said, all right, Cajun Army. Chris King got on the phone and on the Facebook, and he said, all right, it's time for us to reciprocate.
Right.
And so my daughter heard them.
I think the Cajun Navy came here too,
Cajun
because they
Navy
were on
came
CNN and
first.
Fox, and they rescued a lot of people.
And the Cajun Army was
Comes
on
in
Facebook
after.
trying to get the followers to rally around, and she saw them, and they said, what we need is we need a pastor in Houston. We don't have any contacts in Houston. Anybody know a pastor in Houston?
TJ?
Yes.
Yes.
You know,
Okay.
and my daughter.
And your
she
daughter,
was,
okay.
Well, she was listening to the broadcast, and she said, so she Facebooked him and said, my dad's a pastor there. And so she said, will you give us his name and phone number? So they did, and they called me, and I met
And it's ironical because you lost everything last year in Denham Springs. You're still working on your house in Denham Springs.
Yeah, having been a coon ass myself.
Right.
And a pastor,
Right.
and also having lost my home there and everything else.
Now, were you still pastoring there and here? Did you still have a church there?
I used to have a church there.
But not last
there.
year.
I've been here 8 years.
Oh, okay.
So we've been actually living here. We just maintained our home place right there. We have dual resident. And so when Chris wanted to meet with me and we sat down, he said, I want to see your eyeball.
Chris King, the co-founder.
Chris King, the co-founder.
Right.
one of
Who
the
I did a
co-founders.
show on last year. That's out there on YouTube, yeah.
So he said, I want to sit down eyeball to eyeball.
Yeah.
And so we did about 3 hours, him and Jessica Jane, rather. And we sat down, and everything just come together, Jill. You know, I believe this is a God thing. God didn't create the hurricane. He didn't design the hurricane, but out of adversity, there's opportunity.
That's right.
And so
Out of fear comes courage.
out of fear comes courage. All those things, you know. So
Yeah.
it just came, just kind of. I've always told the Lord, if He opened a door, I'll walk through it.
Right.
And so these doors just opened. I didn't volunteer. It's just something the Lord dumped in my lap. It's a God thing. But the reason this has evolved to the gigantic undertaking that it is and the accomplishment it is began and birthed through the Cajun Army.
But most of your volunteers are just here in this dwelling are to feed people. Is
Right.
that correct?
To feed people.
And where's the food coming from? Organic Valley, I see big signs from them out there.
Organic Valley. We, after about 4 days of us doing everything here with our local help, originally we started out to do the renovation of the houses. That's what our focus was.
With the Army.
With the Army. And but God opened the doors. All of a sudden, we had tractor-trailer loads coming in here of supplies.
How did they hear about you?
Cajun Army has a massive media presentation, and then also through my contacts, through churches, and through Cajun people who were blessed, wanted to in turn wanted to be a blessing, and so they had their contacts, and it just began to snowball, you know, from that.
Right.
And we have people here from Hawaii. We have people here from North Dakota, South Dakota. We have people from Colorado. We have people from Maine.
With the Army, with the Cajun Army.
Or
just volunteering
just
all over.
volunteering, and they work in either whatever way we can
Right.
get. where
But you
the
need
is.
more volunteers. You
We
want to give.
desperately need more volunteers.
So is there a way they can reach you if they don't want to go through the Cajun Army? Is there a way to reach you, or
Yes.
do you want everything to go through the Cajun Army?
Well, there's a way to, either way, we'll put it together.
And that's social
If they just
media.
volunteer.
But this is-
My number is 832
Uh-huh.
421 4117.
Or they can just look it up. They can
Look it
Google
up,
your church.
Oak Meadow Community Worship Center, Oak Meadow CWC, and Google the church. They'll see, join us on Facebook.
Right.
They'll see what we're doing. They'll see videos of what we're doing, and it's amazing what's being done here. Now the locals are really coming.
Yeah, I
to-
met a lady from
they're-
across the street. She
yes.
said she didn't flood, and she usually does always
Right.
flood.
And-
So is there one last thing, Pastor, you would like to leave with this audience today, of anything that you'd like to say about what's going on or what you need to go on from here?
We need, as Trish said, you just talked with Trish.
Yes.
She's a wonderful lady who's working so hard. We need volunteers.
Need people.
We need people. We need hands, that will come in and volunteer and help us and to help get the work accomplished. What I love about the Army, Cajun Army, is the volunteers are the generals.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Generals get all the lagniappe,
Right.
as they say in Louisiana, all the specialty and all
Yes.
the special treatment.
Right.
Well, we want you to know if you come and volunteer, you'll get the special treatment because we can't do this without you. You make us
The
look
workers,
good.
right.
The workers are so critical and so
And
necessary.
even if they can't stay, as TJ said, she came to Louisiana last year for a week and ended up staying for months.
Right.
If they can stay and come a week, you'll
A
take
week,
whatever
if
you
they
can
stay
get.
for-
Yeah.
Come a few hours a day. And once they get here and see what's going, I promise you we'll love on them and we'll make them feel a part of this team. And it's just an amazing atmosphere.
It is. I've been here for a couple of hours, and it is very amazing. When you drink your coffee, you can think about Dianne Andrews in black and white. Thank you for
that's
all that you
gorgeous.
do, Pastor.
That's gorgeous.
That's why I wanted to come here, because
Well,
this
we
is about
appreciate you,
humanity and
your
humility.
help in doing what you're doing is phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you,
and we'll be
Pastor.
able-
Now, what denomination is this church? And then we're closing right after
This
this.
is connected with the Church of God of Prophecy,
Okay.
okay? And but we were so appreciate this.
Although
great ministry.
denomination doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I do religious
absolutely.
shows all the time. I do
Absolutely.
round tables.
We're not about denomination. We're about people.
I've done
We're
Hindu,
about
Baptist.
people.
That's right. And that's what life should be about.
We- I
Love
don't
should be
care
about
what your-
people.
I don't care what your affiliation
That's
is.
right.
You come, we love you. We'll help you.
Thank you,
We'll
Pastor.
use you.
Thank
Okay?
you, Pastor.
God
Anything else
bless
I can
you.
do, let me know.
give you a
Thank
hug.
you.
God bless you. And thank you.
Thank
And
you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into
Everyday miracles! Like riding my bike. Breaking boards. Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
Thanks for coming back to Dianne Andrews in Black and White. As I call this show, it's about humanity and humility. Here standing next to me is a person who works for a Family of Friends relief effort. His name is Bill Bates. Thanks for being with me today here, Bill.
Thank you.
Tell me exactly, I understand your organization is under the United Peace.
United Peace Relief is our
Relief.
fiscal sponsor.
Uh-huh.
We are a program of United Peace Relief. We are a Family of Friends relief effort.
Mm-hmm.
We are a grassroots organization.
And tell me why you call Family of Friends?
Because everybody is family, everybody is friends, so we're just a family of friends.
I like that. I like that name.
People
And-
helping people.
Right, and you started after Katrina in Waveland, Mississippi.
In
you
Waveland,
said.
Mississippi, we responded to that as a different entity, and out of that, all this grew and just keeps growing.
And it's so wonderful to see how so many things are growing based on people seeing the need after Katrina, because it was the largest disaster in the country and one of the largest in the world from a hurricane until this Hurricane Harvey here in Texas. It's
Yeah.
larger and more
Yeah.
costlier
And-
than that one was.
And not one big organization can do everything that's needed out here.
Now, your organization is different to some organizations. I won't say the names, but I think people should check out how much administrative costs when you accept monies. Now, I just had interviews on the Cajun Navy, Cajun Army, and talked about the Cajun Special Forces. All three of those organizations, they take no monies. You do take monies in this organization.
Yeah, we are grassroots. We're all volunteer. Nobody gets paid here. Whatever comes in goes to operate feeding people that are affected by disasters, whether man-made or natural.
As opposed to some big name organizations that I won't name here today, but you need to look at the administrative costs. I've done a show before on veterans.
Anytime you're going to donate to anybody, do your research, see what they're about, see what their administrative costs
Right.
are, see how much
And you may
actually
be
gets
surprised.
to the people,
Yeah.
and
What's
give
it
where
called?
you want
the
to.
name of it is Charity Watch, that you can
Cha-
go in and
the-
see
yeah,
how
there's a
much is
Charity
going to
Watch
administration.
website,
So if
yes.
you give $1, your dollar may not be going where you think. Some organizations take your dollar, it may say Hurricane Harvey, but it may go to Hurricane Irma. If you're trying to help Texas, if you have a cousin here, it may not, or it may go to something entirely different than a hurricane.
A lot of times it will just go into a general fund because you cannot track all those donations.
Now, you in Baker, Louisiana, back in my old territory
Well,
last year
last
with the
year for
great
the flood,
unnamed flood.
we
You know,
were-
nobody knows about that flood, how disastrous it
Oh,
was.
it was rough.
It was rough.
It was rough.
30% of Baton Rouge and 60 to 90% of surrounding areas in
Yeah,
Baton
we were
Rouge.
set up
Trillions
at,
of
we
gallons
were set
of
up at
water.
a church there in Baker,
Yeah.
a Redemption Life Fellowship, and we were cooking meals and serving the community.
Now, what are you
and
doing here? What are you doing here?
My scope of focus is I'm on the phone trying to get things donated that we need to run the operation, like diesel fuel, propane, refrigerated trucks, box trucks for dry storage.
Now, where are you staying? Because you're from Daytona, Florida. Where do you all stay from FFRE?
Some of us are staying inside. Myself, I've got a tent out back with a tarp over it.
What did you do last night? It was flooding. I thought it was going to flood here again in Houston, Texas.
Last night, because I had a tarp over my tent,
Yeah.
I stayed dry, but with the winds, it did break a couple of poles, so I may either go get another tent or I may come inside, but it doesn't matter, we're here.
Welcome back to Dianne Andrews in Black and White. And as you know, I'm Dianne Andrews. We're here at Oak Meadows Community Worship Center, and we've been interviewing various people in different capacities here, from TJ with the Cajun Army. I'm talking to some people from the Cajun Navy who rescued people, actually saved lives. And we've talked to people from FFRE, relief efforts. We're talking to everyone. It is an eclectic group of people, all here for the greater good of the people who have suffered during Hurricane Harvey. With me, standing next to me now, is Pastor Gary Pierre.
Pierre?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about why you're here.
Well, one of the reasons why I'm here is to volunteer, because I met a pastor a week ago at one of the local distribution centers in Houston, and it wowed me. It wowed
And
me.
you're talking about Pastor Pittman, who I
Pastor
interviewed earlier,
Pittman, yes.
who runs this church
Yes,
and this group of people here to help.
Yes, he has a wonderful group of people, all ethnicities.
Right.
And I just felt that
All
it was
religions, all kinds of people,
background.
right.
And I just felt that he extended to me an invitation to come and see what he was doing. And it wasn't about who I was and where I came from. He just said, hey, whatever you want to do, you come and assist. And I did that. And when I got here, I was impacted.
I've been amazed when I walked up with when I drove up with all the water out, the bottles, the Organic Valley food, and when I came in, everybody was very nice to me, and different people from all kinds of walks of life, which is a great thing to see. What do you think about the negativity that is being said about this organization and what's going on here? What do you think of that?
Well,
That's been in print
That's
here.
not true. Whatever's been printed is not true, and I can say I've seen it for myself. I've seen a group of people who
Because you did not even know this minister. You have no agenda, until a week ago you just said. You have no agenda to say anything good or bad, right, about him, so you're just telling the truth.
I'm just telling the truth.
And that's what we wanted, Dianne
I'm
Andrews
telling
in
the
Black
truth
and
about
White.
what I felt. And what I felt was the genuine love of a pastor who said, hey, come in, and not only if you need anything, but does your community need anything? Right. Does your ministry need anything? And I felt compelled. And when I got here, I saw an overwhelming and abundance of supplies, of goods, of toiletries, personal items, children items.
What do you think of some of the people with the tattoos or with the red Rastafarian hair? Do you think that's a bad thing?
No. You know, it says a lot about what they're doing and how we need to come together as a community.
That's part of the problem in America today. I do shows on Black, White, Blue Lives Matter because all lives matter and all people matter.
Right.
People here for the same agenda should be treated fairly by any press that comes in here.
Exactly. And it's not about a tattoo. It's not about hairdo or anything like that. He is running a wonderful, wonderful distribution center here in Pasadena. I don't live in Pasadena. I live in the city of Houston.
Oh, is this Pasadena? I didn't even know
Harris
where I
County.
was. I thought this was Houston
this
still.
Is Pasadena.
Okay.
I live in one of the surrounding counties, which is Harris County, which is probably an hour from here.
Right.
But when I got here, I felt that I needed to put boots on the ground.
Right.
And I did not know that was their theme.
It is.
And the reason why I saw it, because I saw people who were getting dirty.
Right.
You know, putting their personal differences and ethnicities aside and just meeting the need of this community.
I'm here with Brenda Austin Hall of the Cajun Navy. She is from Little Rock, Arkansas. She joined the Cajun Navy in the August 29th, I think you said, because of Hurricane Harvey and the devastation. She is an EMT, retired, and an LPN. So we understand she's used to giving. Brenda has saved 32 people herself on a boat in the middle of the night, in the middle of the day, at 4 a.m. in the morning. Brenda, you are a true hero. Tell me about your story. What made you saw it on the news, what made you come to Texas?
Well, I'm a trauma nurse. My father was a commercial fisherman, so being on swift water does not bother me. I know how to operate boats. And our neighbors being here in Texas, they needed help. So, I mean, I had the resources and, couldn't sit back and do nothing.
It's about your heart.
It is about your
For
heart,
it's about
but
your
it's
heart.
about helping
Caring.
others. I was here for Katrina, Rita.
Did you come to Baton Rouge? They didn't name our flood, so nobody even knew we had a flood. There was almost $10 billion of damage.
Yes. So, I mean, when there's a disaster, tornadoes in Arkansas, whatever, I respond to disaster.
But you really joined the Navy. You actually joined and became a volunteer with the Cajun Navy. Yeah.
And they are a good organization. We're all volunteers. It wasn't a question. That first phone call, hey, I need someone to go to Texas, and I said, I'm in. And so we drove all night. We come in on 105 in Viter.
Over near Port Arthur.
Right. Walking in midnight with it lightning continuously, with me with a flashlight trying to figure out where the road was.
And you never had any fear, just courageous.
Never. The only thing I would do different, and I didn't, my father being a commercial fisherman and being waist deep in rivers and everything overflowing their banks and coming across the road, I would put on a life jacket and I would tie myself off to the truck.
Yeah. Did you almost get floated away? And what about, you had on rubber boots and all of that? None of that? No alligators, no snakes, no anything?
Wouldn't have bothered me if I did.
Really?
Right. So, like I said, I do have
I'd been running for my life if I saw a snake that's known in the water.
Jeff Brown out of Little Rock, Arkansas, I came with him. He brought his own supplies. They were out of waters. I mean,
it's just an amazing environment here for people. And that's why we're trying to get more people to volunteer. Anybody in the reach of Dianne Andrews and Black and White, please come and help these people volunteer as much as you can. They're feeding over 1,000 people a day. The line goes down in the heat, miles for them to feed the people, which we'll get later. Thanks, Brenda, for being on Dianne Andrews and Black and White.
Thank you.
That's why they were so successful. That's why they got away.
I've made a living in very dangerous.
Integrated Dianne Andrews in Black and White.